These are our stories from the driver's seat. Our opinions only, not our employers or school districts. Student safety and privacy always come first. So no names, faces, routes, or, you know that kid, details ever make it on the podcast. Hi guys, welcome to School Bus Banter, episode 11. Really looking forward to recording today. We have a surprise guest, and it's not the superintendent. How's it going, Joe?
Yeah, okay, so yeah, you got me on that intro. Good job. Good job. We just in context here, I've tried to introduce this episode and it didn't go so good. So thanks, Jerry.
You're welcome. Somebody's got to be professional around here. So
yeah. Okay.
So today we're going to talk with Brian. We'll get to him in a minute. But Joe, how was your week? What's going on?
We have a countdown on our bus till spring break. That's where we're at.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep. Is it
Countdown.
A little early for that though?
Nope. There's 8.5 days. Well, now there's 7.5.
Is that it?
Yeah.
No, there's more
get
than
that half in there. No, well, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, no, there's going to be 8.5, right?
Oh, I guess you're right.
Anyway, we're coming up on it, so I'm excited. I don't have any plans, but maybe a few plans, but I'm looking forward to not setting that alarm.
Yes, for sure. And then me as well. I'm depressed that today on the playground, it was felt like 22 degrees and I had to put all my gear on and I was fussy about that. So I'm looking forward to some warmer weather and I'm ready for spring break too. But thankfully I do have some pretty decent kids, but the playground is making me get more gray than it already is. So
we need a warm spring break is what we need.
Yes, for sure. So I want to introduce Brian. Brian has been, I guess, with us kind of from the beginning. I'm not sure how he found us. My guess is Reddit. But Brian is a bus driver in the central Ohio area. And he just started messaging us and we kind of started vibing. And I was like, I know Joe has been wanting to get somebody on just to kind of talk about people from other parts of the country. And Brian said he would. And I appreciate you coming on, Brian.
Absolutely no problem. My pleasure.
So tell me a little bit about Brian. I'm not going to guess your age. I mean, I'm seeing you visually. You have gray like me, but I grayed a lot earlier. But how did you get into bus driving? Is this your main gig or what's the story with you?
Yeah, it currently is my main gig. I moved up here to central Ohio from Florida about 7 years ago and was just up here kind of, I semi-retired. My family's up here. That's why I moved from Florida to Ohio. Still question that on cold days.
Yep.
And my sisters hold this huge garage sale in a barn every year. And I'm standing at this garage sale. And lady walks up to me and goes, "Hey, what do you do?" I looked at her and go, "Well, I'm kind of retired." She's a senior bus driver at the depot where I work. She goes, "Well, you need to be driving a school bus." And I never thought of that. I'm like, "Really?" She goes, "We need you. We need bus." This is right after COVID.
Oh, yeah.
"We need school bus drivers. You need to fill out an application right now and get going." And literally 4 or 5 months later, I'm driving past my house at 5 a.m. in a bus going, "How did this happen? How on earth?" You know, you get so far into the training, you're like, "Well, I'm here now. Let's do it." And it has been one of the most rewarding things I've ever done in my life. Just
amazing.
Wonderful.
Amazing.
I really like it.
I'm glad you're in it. You know, people get in it for different reasons, which we've talked about, right? And you kind of got to be in it because, well, I always say I wanted to give back to the community, but I wanted to get paid doing it. It's kind of like you can't just go for a job. That's why if they made it $40 an hour, you'd get people in there that don't care about kids or making a difference. So while I want the pay to be more, I also understand that it can't be too great.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like that perspective.
I like how somebody in the barn saw like maybe your personality or something and thought like, you know, you're going to be good at this.
I don't think that was it. I think they were desperate.
Oh, geez.
Signed me up. It's like, and I do field trips with Ann all the time. and it's fine. We're good friends, but that's kind of how I just fell into it. It was literally a kick in the butt. I was mowing lawns, just staying busy, semi-retired, and then I got the opportunity to drive a school bus. And it takes a year or two, I think, to really find your feet, to really know what you're doing. And if you make it through the second year, then you're probably going to stick with it because you're either going to love or hate those kids.
Right. Sounds like you got some puppies back there.
Somebody's not happy that he's on the phone. Yeah, it's I think for like how you said, Brian, that it's out of convenience, the hours, the pay, and if all that fits into, we do have a lot of people that retire and come back and do it because it's just an easy, I don't want to say easy, but a convenient gig to do, with the hours being like that. You're going to wake up early anyway during retirement, so you might as well just jump in a cold school bus and go get some kids.
Right. A little earlier than normal, but now I'm acclimated to that 4:30 alarm. Right?
Well, you get up at 4:30? Oh my gosh.
I do, yeah.
Now, what time do you have to leave for your route? Because I get up at 5:30 and I don't have to leave till like 6:51. Like roll out of the garage.
I roll out of the yard at 6:40.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I live literally 5 minutes away from the barn, but I like mornings are my time.
Yeah.
And so that's my time I do French press coffee. I'm a coffee snob. And feed the dogs, walk them. That's my thing.
Okay.
So
I'm the same way. I'm just not going to get up 2 hours before.
We do though.
That's just me.
We have a lot of drivers that get there super early. They're there an hour before they have to go. And they like that camaraderie and they need that downtime, and then they hit the ground running. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. So let's jump into stories from the road. I changed it up a little bit when we do business, Joe. So I did this on the fly, but stories from the road. That's something we just, what happened in the last couple of weeks for you that kind of stood out, that it doesn't have to be funny or whatever. I'm going to let Joe go first because she loves to talk.
Well, okay. The deal was I talk and you do all the editing, right? So we found Brian that way because Brian, thank you for saying that, our banter is what we wanted to create back and forth is good, because we do this in the bus garage, and we both had the same idea to just say, hey, let's do it on the podcast so we can get more people to, let's all do this together and figure it out together. But anyway, thank you. Stories from the road. So I'm going to give an update on one of was it just our last podcast, Joe? Or sorry, Jerry. That I talked about my 25 student.
Yep. I don't remember. I'm sorry. I don't remember if it was the last one because we record every 2 weeks and I get confused. So it doesn't really matter. Okay. I think it was two episodes ago.
Well, I had that student walk up to me. He's from a different country, and walk up and made the hair on my arms stand up when he said, in 2025, everybody in America is going to die. And so if you heard that story, then that is what this is from. And when he got off and I'm facing that house with the address of 2525, and then I went and bought the lottery ticket. Okay. Right. So that was that story. So it was just, I don't know, maybe a few days from that time where that student comes up and, I was saying goodbye. He never has his shoes tied. So I always have to figure out how to tie his shoes.
Oh, geez.
And he looks up and he goes, oh, Miss Joe, that house says 2525. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I saw that after you told me your story. He's like, oh boy, I would hate to live there. And then he bounces down the stairs and off he goes. Like, just like that. So he never saw it either. Because I was thinking, or I think, Jerry, you had mentioned maybe he saw that address, right? Because why that specific date? But no, he's like, oh, I would hate to live there. And then just bounces down the stairs and off he goes, run into his house.
And that's it. That's you haven't like pried into his psyche and be like, "Are you okay, man?"
No, it is a busy street, so I do have cars that usually are coming up behind, but I'm gonna have that opportunity pretty soon, and then there'll be another update on that. My one other thing that I thought was hysterical was we just got done with St. Patrick's Day, right? And I celebrate, all these little holidays with my kids, candy or whatnot. And I was down to a few left going home. And I was like, okay, how many of you know about St. Patrick's Day, or how many of you are Irish? And I have a lot of sets of twins. I have 11 sets of twins throughout my day that get on and off my butt. Yes, 11 sets.
No.
Between my private run that I do in between. Yes.
Oh my
sets.
gosh.
So one of the sets, the boy, a lot of boy girl sets too. And the boy gets up and he's like, I'm Irish, and knowing his name, yeah, that makes sense. But his twin sister got up and goes, we're mom says we're Irish, but we're also Christian. And so I was like, okay, all right. So Irish and Christian, that's good. That's good. And it was just, then we got into this huge discussion on what everybody is.
Oh gosh.
And I'm like, okay, let's bring it back in. Let's bring it back into, being Irish. But I just thought that was cute. It was like, we're Irish, but we're Christian.
Well, I wonder if, because a lot of people will say I'm Irish Catholic, like that is like a thing that. So I think she was trying to clarify that she wasn't, because that's usually when people say it, they're like, I'm Irish Catholic, and maybe she was like, well, I'm Irish Christian, not Catholic.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah. But I was just like, okay. And then everybody was discussing like what church they went to, because we drive in an area where there's a lot of churches. But yeah, that was a fun conversation to be had with kindergartners and first graders. And
yeah, so that came from littles?
Littles.
Okay,
yeah.
I feel like that's been implanted in that kid's head then, because I could see maybe a middle schooler like processing that a little differently.
No, littles, yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So there's my road stories for you.
Awesome. So mine real quick is a bus breakdown, and then Joe's going to jump in to finish this story. I don't know about you, Brian, but our bus yard is very fortunate where we don't have a lot of technology in our buses. Like we have paper maps and everything. If you're a sub, like there's no tablets or anything, but we get 3 brand new buses a year. And a lot of districts don't get that. Well, I fortunately, or unfortunately, however you want to look at it, got a new bus this year, a brand new diesel. It's got air conditioning for the driver.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, it's nice. And so yeah, everything about it, like even the dash, it kind of reminds you of like a total car setup. It doesn't, if you think about like an older bus where everything's kind of clunky and the heat barely works, or it burns your left leg or whatever. This is like full air and heat, really nice. But unfortunately, these buses are coming off the line and they're not shit, but there's so many problems. Mm-hmm. So about, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, whatever, my bus was kind of like hesitating. I think I was on a field trip actually. And I limped it back to the garage. It happened right at the school that's close to the garage. Get back there, of course, looks at it. Nope, everything's, it checks out. I don't know, some compression thing, whatever. So then, I don't know, 2 Fridays ago, I'm pulling into the elementary and it starts doing the same thing, right? And I'm like, okay, got on the radio right away. I'm like, hey, I'm going to need another bus. This is happening. And I'm just finishing my secondary run, and then I need to go pick up the littles. So then it just dies. Like it wasn't even hesitating. It dies. And all of a sudden I'm like in this 2-lane area where the buses are on the right. And basically I'm cranking it and coasting. I quick put it in neutral because I didn't want to block it. So finally I get there, whatever, and I get a new bus. And apparently 5 minutes later, the bus started and they drove home with it and it was fine. And I've driven it since. So like, while the new buses are great, don't be excited about it because they all are shit. So anyways, my story kind of rolls into Joe's. So I survived. My kids, of course, asked a million questions because I had this sub bus. But after I left, there was a little more drama that went on, eh?
Lots of drama. Okay, I'm going to try and paint the picture because our audience is just listening. But at this school, there's 9 buses lined up, and I'm in the front. I'm the very first bus, and I'm way out from where the kids get out, right? So they have to walk a little bit to get to me, but we're all in order. And when Jerry's bus broke down, he had to pull in behind me so he wouldn't block that 2-lane road that we're talking about. So another bus, though, had to park in that same area that Jerry was in. Okay. And so I'm like, well, I'll move even further ahead so that second bus can get in behind me. And then Jerry's dead bus can just sit there. But I know this is going to throw the students off, right? Because there's an extra bus. So the bell rings and I'm standing outside my bus so they can see clearly that I move forward. And this is the littles, so K through 4. And they come out, kindergartner comes out first. And they come out and they're like, not even to where my original spot was, and they're already confused. They're walking around, they're looking up in the sky, they're looking behind them. You think that I parked like out of town because it was 40. How's the length of our school bus? 40 feet? 44,
I think.
Yeah, that much more feet ahead was all. And they got their backpacks on, they're walking around, they have no idea where I'm standing there. They're making eye contact with me. Right. So finally they're all coming on, and everyone, why are we up here? What's going on? Where's that bus? Why are we times 42? So they had to get on. And I said, once everybody gets on, I'll get on my microphone one time and I will tell everybody why we are up here. I mean, I'm in their direct line of sight, just, moved forward. So yeah, once everybody got on, I got on my microphone and I was like, there was a bus that broke down, because now by this point they have already started Jerry's dead bus. They got it started and moved. So now there's a gaping hole there. So why is that hole there? This is it. Oh, it was so funny. I wish I could have videotaped them all just wandering around like, I don't know, like a scavenger hunt, that they couldn't find anything, with backpacks on, just walking around. So
That's
yeah,
funny.
I explained to them that this happens, and you got to be prepared. Make sure you know your bus number or your animal. Brian, do you guys have that too? You have numbers and animals?
A few of the buses with special needs student assignments have animals, but most of us do not.
Oh,
So
Okay.
my kindergartners are 1 through 5, and we don't use animals.
oh,
Okay.
interesting.
I don't think even my high school could even tell what number mine is.
No,
they
they
go
all-
by the animal.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
animal, because I think it's lower and it's by the door, so they don't look up and see, because our numbers
Yes.
are just at the top. They're not anywhere else.
Yeah. Or they're
But the
just looking
teachers
to make
walk them out to the bus.
Okay.
Oh,
So their instructors are with them as they get on the bus.
oh, interesting. Yeah, that doesn't happen by us. There are teachers out there, but they're just there to supervise usually.
Right.
What do you call that? Chinese fire drill.
Yeah.
Kids
Yeah.
come out of all the doors. I think windows also. They're
Well,
just flying everywhere.
Yeah, I think at our district, the bus drivers are kind of in charge once the kids are out. Like they know, like, once my door's open, that I don't have to wave them in. If my door is open, you can come in, and I'm always very diligent about keeping it closed until I'm ready, or if I'm using the bathroom or whatever. But yeah, the teachers are kind of just there to make sure all the kids get out of the school and that no one's running around before we leave. But other than that, we're kind of in control of our own kids.
Wow. Okay. Do you get kids that shouldn't be on your bus happen
No.
often? Okay.
Mm-mm.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Now, we do have bus buddies for the younger kids, for the
Mhm.
kindergartners all through the year. They change them out or whatever just to make sure they get. And then in the beginning, I don't know if your elementary does that, Joe, but ours has like an orange cone with the animal picture on it for the first couple weeks so that they can see where they need to line up.
Well, the littles are supposed to have like backpacks with their animal
Yep.
laminated on there, but where the backpacks end up. So I end up just collecting all these little animal cards from the bottom of the bus.
Right.
We have safeties. Our fourth graders are safeties. They have the belt and the hat.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I tell mine, take pride in that job because I need you. I need you to keep the chaos. I need you. This is your job. You signed up for it. And so they make sure the right kids are on the right bus and going. Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
So, Brian, we asked you to fill in your questions or stories from the road, and I have it written down in the doc here, and it says second grader called another student a femboy. So I'm really interested in this story.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, they're the little ones, as you call them. I call them my elementary. So that's first through fifth grade. And they are great kids. Oh, the young ones always are. They're just adorable. Wish I could video record every day.
Yes.
For the antics that go on. You could make movies from this stuff, or at least an ongoing TV series.
Right.
You know, like America's Funniest Videos. But, I'm hearing that stuff was going on in the background, and I come to a stop and someone shouts, he just called, so-and-so called me a femboy. And I literally, the hands on the steering wheel clutched like a femboy. I'm thinking, I'm not sure what that is. I have an idea, I think. And so I get little Johnny to come up front once the bus came to a stop at a light and sit behind me. I go, what's a femboy? He goes, I don't know. I go, well, why would you call someone that if you don't know what it means? You must know it must mean something not good. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I said, Johnny, do you have an older brother? Yeah. How old is your older brother? He's 15. I go, okay. Things are starting to come aligned here. So I said, what if when I drop you off today, I talk to your mom and ask or tell her you said the word femboy, called someone a femboy, and tell her I think it's coming from your older brother. Because that way, they'll both beat you when you get home. His head was looking at me in the mirror, and it just slowly went down the more I talked.
Oh, my goodness.
Still, I couldn't see him in the mirror anymore. And I said, maybe I don't need to talk to Mom about this today, but let's not have any more of that language on the bus. He's like, yes, Mr. Brian, okay. But I still think about femboy, and he's just picking it up from his older brother, I'm sure.
Of course.
But when it comes out of a second grader,
yeah,
like, what? It's like, this isn't high school I'm driving, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
funny.
They pick, those kids are little sponges from like first to third grade. They're just soaking up everything they hear, and they're just spitting it out. They don't know what it means,
Absolutely.
And boy, that's not something you want to hear.
No, I'm proud of it. Really, I really love how you handled it, because there's so many drivers that just be like, pretend they didn't hear it.
Yeah, I guess it's easy to let go, but then the problem never goes away.
Of course.
But if you address it while it happens, it will show itself, but maybe not in the same manner. And you build rapport with the children when you do that. And I love these kids. Even the high schoolers and middle schoolers, I always say this. When they're on my bus, they're my ward. I'm Papa Bear.
Yep.
And I would, put myself in front of a bullet for any one of them. And I get a little emotional talking about it, because it's something they don't tell you when you're learning how to drive a bus. Mm-hmm. You may very well fall in love with the kids on your bus. Want to bring them all home if you could one day.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel. And that's why it's been the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my life. And I've had some pretty good gigs in my past, but I never came home feeling like that warm spot in my gut after a real good day with the children. It's really cool. It's really rewarding.
That's so awesome. When your refrigerator is filled with drawings. And I think Jer and I started the podcast, our first one, where I said I am the best bus driver in the universe. I got a universe certificate, not the world, but and those things, I'm keeping those forever. They're framed. That means a lot. And what, when you get the hello from somebody that hasn't said hi, those little things like that, you're just like, yes, made a difference.
Or if you get a grunt from one of your high schoolers that you've been saying hi to for the last 3 months, and they finally went, and you're like,
yeah,
I got through to him.
I heard the noise.
I
guess our high school here, my district, asked the students to fill out bus driver gratitude cards or something.
What?
I only got 3 or 4, or 5 maybe. And they started getting on, and just people you get to grunt in the morning. That's about it from a high schooler.
Yeah.
Are handing me these cards, and some of them put some really nice things on them.
Aw.
Like, you played the best music ever, Mr. Bryan, and you're never late and you're always on time. I'm like, it's coming from a high schooler, which really makes you feel good.
Yeah,
It does.
I think a lot of the high schoolers you wouldn't expect, like they're great kids, but they're just quiet, right? So if you get a card from them, you're like, oh gosh, this is very thoughtful.
Yeah.
That happened today. I drive for one of our private schools. I'm just one of their shuttles, and I'm like, oh, I haven't seen you on for a while. Yeah. Well, when my sister and I ride the bus, my sister has friends on this bus that ride, but I don't have any friends on this bus that ride. And I'm like, excuse me, you're talking to one, and now he sits right behind me. And because he's also a hockey player and I'm #1 hockey fan. So now I'm just like, I know where you playing. I'm going to go to your games. And I mean, I'm sorry you have to be friends with your bus driver, but I'm here for that. So yeah. And when Brian, when you were saying that you brought little Johnny up to the front seat, as we all do when there's a problem. Now when I bring my little Johnny up to the front seat, they specifically ask to sit there because they're like, oh, it's actually fun up here. Oh,
that's absolutely right. I love banter
that
with my kids while I'm driving. It gives me something to do rather than focus, of course, on the safety and look in the mirror. But it gives me someone to kind of chit chat with when they're in the talking mode. I agree with that. Yeah.
And you use music as I do. The music has been, just great. We have our own playlists, and when I see good behavior, they get to pick a new song that goes on the playlist.
Oh, so, nice.
Amazing. Well, before we jump into tips and tricks, just a little business. Email schoolbusbanter@gmail.com or our Facebook group. The link is in the description. And then, of course, our telephone number, 757-529-1574. Appreciate you guys reaching out like Brian did. It's interesting, Brian. I have another podcast that I never get emails. And I'm saying I have a Telegram group, which is like a chat app with some of them, so maybe that's why, but I literally never get any feedback about the show, and I've recorded like 350 episodes. And I keep doing it because I love it, but I really do appreciate you reaching out and just saying hi and that you like the show, so appreciate that.
Well, I know not necessarily the email, but when I gave you the 5-star on the podcast part, because I liked it so much, I want your show to succeed.
Yeah.
I look forward to this podcast more than anything else because it just directly relates to my life right now.
Yes.
It's my own little mini series.
Aw, that's amazing. All right, moving on, tips and tricks. I wrote on mine, I'm running out of these. And mine is just make friends with the mechanics. I don't know about I know you have a lot of buses in your area for the district you drive, but we don't have as many, but we have a freaking amazing mechanic. And maybe every district says that. I don't know. He's great. He is amazing. He's passionate about it. And if you stop in and need something, he's going to hook you up. Now, I think he likes me, so I think he does that, and that's my point, my tip and trick. Make friends with him, because if you need something in a pinch or a wiper changed or, and you want to get it done before you get your run back or whatever, it's always good to just be friends with him, or like, hey, can I grab the power washer real quick? I can't see out of my back window, those kind of things. And, also just maybe little things like, I got this rattle, and I literally do have this rattle, and I haven't told him yet. I mean, the bus only's got 9,000 miles on it, but it's vibrating in my seat, but you can't figure it out unless you have two people on the bus. So I'm hoping when it goes into the oil change, he'll do it. But just stuff like that, he's like, Jerry's nice. I'm going to take care of him. I'm going to fix his stuff. And yeah, so that's my basic tip is just be nice to the mechanic. It's a hard job, and he can make or break your day if you got stuff going around in your bus.
But he teaches you about your bus. I know more about my bus with this mechanic than the before. I mean, whether you want to know about it or not.
That's the problem.
And it's great. I mean, he's going to tell you why it happened or what it could be, and using these words. And I'm like, nope, don't know what that means. But yeah, I love it.
I typically, with our mechanic, I'm like, I'm walking out there. I got to go. Yeah. My kids are waiting. Bye. Thank you.
They don't see people very often. They're underneath a bus.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
All right, Joe, what is your tip and trick for this week?
Oh, I forgot to ask the driver today. But I was wondering, Brian, too, if you have things on your bus for your kids to do. Example, like seek and find books or fidget stuff or stuffies, stuffed animals. I know we're not supposed to have these things, because they're flying around loose, but I know that there are kids or there are drivers in our district that have books and stuff somehow wedged in there for kids to look at and fidget toys. I know I have some stuffed animals. I'm the mouse bus. So I have a mouse stuffy that sits up there, and we had a contest to name them. And that took like 4 weeks. I drew it out for like 4 weeks long of naming it. And yeah, so I didn't know if this works or if it's just now you've got just all this stuff on your bus that goes everywhere. But if you guys do any of that stuff.
I don't do anything like that specifically, especially with the books. Maybe because of the size of our district and the number of buses, our routes aren't very long. We're not driving. There's not a child on my bus for more than 10, 15 minutes in all categories. So there's really not enough time to open up a book and look at it, especially when they're putting up with my antics on the mic as I'm driving.
Oh, are you a big mic user?
Oh my God. I have a screaming goat, and when they're getting crazy, I'll take the mic and slap it right on the speaker. This thing shuts everyone up. That's just like, whoa. So, and remote control fart machine. I mean, I am really a Jim Carrey in personality type. So I'm always looking for a way to entertain them with a laugh and lots of practical jokes. Lots of practical jokes.
That's hard because you don't have
to believe me or not when I say something.
That's hard because you don't even have them that long. So you have all of these good ideas and then they're like off in 10 minutes. That's short run. Yeah.
It is. I do. You mentioned, Joe, that you use a music lists or playlists. Mm-hmm. And I do that for my middle school and elementary. I let them pick the songs. They have to put it in writing so I can review them. Yep. And they've made some real, like the elementary, it's like it's raining tacos and stuff like that. It's hilarious.
Oh my God, that just happened.
And when you do a field trip, as I did this afternoon with an elementary school, not mine, and I put that playlist on, those kids go crazy. and they're like, you are the best bus driver ever. I'm like, I just played my kids' playlist, and they're like, no, because they knew the words to all the songs because the kids picked those songs. I didn't.
Right.
And that's my trick. And as far as the middle school, it's Taylor Swift, and the high schoolers like whatever the middle schoolers pick. Never thought I'd be a Taylor Swift fan, but I'll tell you what, those kids get off the bus and their music's still playing. I'm driving down the road to get my elementary, and I'm like, tears are welling up in my eyes. I'm like, she's banging the song out, man. I love Taylor Swift.
That's so awesome.
Taylor Swift's got some bangers. I love T Swift.
She does. She really does. She has good music.
Oh, I just was introduced to Raining Tacos within the last 10 days, along with the hamster dance, the hamster song. The hamster dance. Okay.
Bear. I'll share my list with you, Joe. I'll send it to you. There's some really, I even put Surfing Bird on there. Everybody's heard about the word bird.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
I love that song. They love it.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, the music works because for me, you get on your mic and do stuff where all I have to do is mute the music and then they settle. Then they can have it back on, but it's gonna get turned down. I love Good Dance Party too, but you got to do it from your seat.
That's right. And Fridays, awesome. I will put the music on the outside speaker as they're boarding the bus. And all the other bus students are jealous because they're boarding the bus with songs bellowing out of its grip.
Oh, dude, I'm using that idea because on Fridays I actually only play music on Fridays. I mean, I have the radio on at a lower volume. But on Fridays, I have a playlist and we crank that shit and we rock out. But I have such a short route, like you. I drop probably 3/4 of my elementary kids off in the first 2 minutes. And then it's just 1 or 2s all the way the rest of the way. But I try to get them the songs they like. Like I put Barney on there, and they actually kind of jam out to. It's like a trap version of Barney, though it's not the original, so it's got a little bit of like, hipness to it. But yeah, that I got to do the exterior one. They'll lose their freaking mind if I do that on Friday. I think Joe's writing that down right now. You are
writing down.
You are, aren't you?
I'm writing down. No, I'm writing down songs that like when the kids are singing it word for word. When you play it, like they didn't get that from me. They're listening to that stuff at home too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're coming on the bus. They know, and I will put on the whole K-pop Demon Hunter soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
And that golden song is. There's kids that are like, we don't want to get off. We want to keep riding around with you. They don't want to get off at their stop. I'm like, I promise I'll put it back on when I see you again.
I don't know. My kids are a little burnt out. The girls aren't burnt out of K-pop, but the boys, if it pops up in the playlist, they're like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm like, chill.
So I'll give you one of my funnier tricks I do with this phone and speaker situation, because I'm a practical joker. We had some really, really, really heavy fog. Like, we shouldn't have been driving that heavy in patches. And I was pulling into a school and could barely see in front of the bus, right? And of course, I get the idea, well, I've got to get some ship foghorn sounds going on this outside speaker as I'm rolling into these schools. And YouTube has everything. So sure enough, I'm pulling into a school. You couldn't see me, but all you heard was,
Oh my gosh.
When I finally got to the door, everyone's looking around like, what's going on?
Oh, no, they weren't looking around. They go, oh, it's Brian. He's playing jokes again.
That's exactly what happens. After a while, they see my bus show and go, okay, never mind. They just turn around.
Amazing.
I do have fun.
Sounds like you're a great bus driver and you have a lot of fun with them. So I'm sure they appreciate that.
I hope so, but it doesn't matter. As long as they're laughing, I know they're having a good day.
Yep. Okay, let's get fussy. What grinds our gears? This is kind of like my favorite segment because I love to bitch. But Joe, Pokemon drama? Like, really?
So Pokemon resurface, it cycles.
Yes.
Right? It cycles through. We'll have a year where it's hot and then maybe 2-3 years where I don't see anything, find any cards or anything. But guess what? It's reared its ugly head this year.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm finding Pokemon cards. I'm hearing the trades going on. And then, hey, Miss Joe, I didn't mean to trade that card. They won't give it back to me. And this is getting bad. And so I went and one of the teachers was out there and I'm like, what do you do? Because I know that Pokemon is in the classroom too. And she's like, no Pokemons. They can do it in the hallway or they can do it at recess, but not in the classroom at all. And then she goes, I actually sent a letter home in their Friday folders that just if we could leave Pokemon cards at home because it is beginning to be a disruption. And I thought they were cool because I liked looking through the books. It was something like, hey, we're getting to Johnny's stop. He's going to have his portfolio filled with these, then, he takes one out and then it's not crisp and clean around the edges anymore. And so I felt like at fault because I wanted to see, some of the stuff, but I'm like, you guys just don't take your cards out, no trading on the bus. I had to stand up and make some rules about Pokemon. And I didn't want, there were some relationships that weren't, like I had to actually change seats because they were not, they weren't friends anymore because they're trading. Yeah. Over Pokemon. Yeah. Wow. So I'm like, nope, that's done. It was short-lived and it was a very stressful week or 2, 10 days. And so now if I see Pokemon cards, they get, I tell them, please put them in your backpack or they're mine until you get back. And then, that's usually been working, but yeah, that's my drama.
it's tough to know what to do because you don't want some of the older kids to take advantage. And I don't know shit about him. So like he could be say, oh, it's an equal trade. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like are you being honest about that? And I thankfully it has reared it a little bit on the playground where I work my midday, but not on the bus yet. So I'm thankful for that. But yeah, it's tough to know what to do with that. I like your thought. Just shut it down. Like it will not happen on the bus. If I see it, I take them away.
Yeah, what I thought was going to be like a good time just turned it up not being.
Right.
So,
Frustrating. For me is this actually happened at my elementary, and I'm sure Joe has seen this too, but all our sidewalks have yellow stripes down the middle of it, meaning you stay on this side because buses tails, and I'm sure Brian's nodding his head, and yes, same thing, and the kids don't realize it, and I don't think they remember the expectations. One thing I'm going to do a little tangent here. One thing that my principal at where I work at, they do the expectations after every long break. So like after spring break, we'll have to go there and go over all the playground rules again. And while I hate it because I don't want to come in early because it's like it's spring break, we have 6 weeks left. What are we doing? But I think that needs to be done with kids about that yellow line. It's so important. And let's be frank, there's some drivers that I'm sure Brian knows some and Joe and Jerry that don't know their head from a hole in the ground and don't pay attention to that stuff. Well, the other day I saw a kid as one of the buses was making that turn. This kid went to try to grab the bumper of the bus as it was turning, as its tail was turning away. And I'm like, I can't see. I'm like pointing. I'm like, you, come here. Like, I didn't even know who the kid was. And she's like, me. And I'm like, come here. And I'm like yelling. And my kids are like looking like, I don't ever hear him yell. I'm like, what's your name? And she says, Tata. I was like, don't ever, 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 ever do that. And I didn't go into the school, and maybe I should have, but I had to go pick up my next run. But I am deathly afraid of a kid getting hit there. And I don't think she's going to do that again. But
no,
I mean, not only did she cross the line, she tried to touch it and she got close. I mean, it was like just missed it. So scary.
Oh my God. Yeah, you're watching that unfold in front of you. Oh. The adrenaline rush. And like a parent, you got to get that kid to never do that again. They don't understand. You could be mortally injured by doing what you're doing. I get it.
Yeah, those kids, they just don't understand those. But I mean, it's a bus. It's not a car. And even a car could do something like that. But yeah, I got a little frustrated with her. I mean, I was like, girl, you cannot do this. Like, hello. But maybe we need to have another thing with, at least, I don't know if you have that issue. Although sorry, Joe, you have a lot of teachers that are very involved. They are pretty good with that stuff, but I know not that mine's not, it's just not a top priority. So all right, Brian. Oh, I saw yours and I'm like, oh God, I could talk about this forever. So tell us about what grinds your gears. Yeah.
So you're driving down the road, and our first channel, as I explained before, is broadcast everywhere. It goes to the office, actually to the police department. Admin can hear it and all the other buses can when you're on channel 1. And you'll hear, hey, bus 120, you've got kids standing up in the back of your bus. And you feel like grabbing the mic and saying, thanks for broadcasting that to I have the situation handled. Don't manage my kids for me ever. Now, if they're starting a fire and they notice I'm not looking, or 2 kids are literally beating the shit out of each other. Okay, hey, 120. But I've told other drivers, try to say bus going north on Main Street. You've got an issue with students in the back. That way you're not calling anyone out.
Yes.
You're not managing. And if you're going north on Main Street, you're going to look in your mirror to see if it's your bus.
Right.
So, and it does grind my gears that other bus drivers manage my student management for me from the back window.
Right.
It happens too often.
And putting it on channel 1, it goes everywhere. Right. Switch to a different channel. Don't be an idiot.
Right.
Joe, do we have a few people that do that?
Oh no, we're all just very good on the radio. all, all of us.
I think you're lying.
Yeah. Oh, my train of thought I just lost it. Yes, I worry in the beginning when school started. First few weeks, we're trying to even out our students, right? Our ratio. So, like one neighborhood could be pretty heavy, and then you still have to go to another neighborhood. So, as we're getting that out, we're pretty loaded at the front end when school starts. And I had a driver behind me say, my bus number, you have backpacks piled up in your back window. And it looks like somebody's sitting against your back window. And I'm just like, thank you. And I looked back there and this is my high school, middle school, the time. And I had 77 kids and they're big bodies. So sure, I got one sitting on the floor, maybe against the window, maybe in between the seats. But you know what? At this point, I don't know where to put them.
Right.
I really don't know where to put them. And if the backpacks are on the floor so they can sit on there, that's just going to happen that day. So we did even it out. And I didn't have to go down one neighborhood or something, but or actually a lot of families just decided, oh, my kid's not going on that busy bus, and they're bringing them to school now, but which is fine. But yeah, when we're that crowded and you just got to do what you got to do, that's a battle I'm not picking, but somebody else is going to probably pick it for you because they're going to let everybody know.
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway is if you're going to do it, just like Brian said, just don't be descriptive. Like if someone says, hey, your hazard's on, I never say the number. I just say it. And what is everyone going to do? They're going to look down on their butt, and the person that needs it will figure it out. Or, you know, or your strobe is blinking or whatever it is. You don't have to call them out. Even one of our close friends, she called me out. Like, not like meanly, but she said my number and I pulled her aside. I'm like, God damn it. Like, don't say my number. Like, and she's like, I know, I'm sorry, I forgot. I'm like, well, it's just common courtesy. Yeah. Just like, unless it's like you said, there's a fire on the bus and you're just like, oh my God. You know what I mean? That's
singing to Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Almost any of those items except for the fire. All you have to do is approach that driver back at the garage and say, I didn't want to say anything over the radio.
Yeah.
And you may have already known, I'm just letting you know that some of your students are standing up while you were going down the road. I appreciate that. That's constructive criticism.
Yeah.
And not broadcasting it to everyone else out there. That's fine. That's how we learn. But to say it over the radio to everyone, it's just going a little too far as I'm concerned.
And you often wonder if they're actually, because we have a few that I feel like are actually being mean, and some that just trying to be helpful and they're just oblivious to like, and they love to hear their voice on the radio, so they just say
the rules of the road.
Yeah.
Maybe next time, maybe talk to me directly so we don't chew up radio space where it's needed.
But at minimum, 4 drivers will tell you have a headlight out.
Oh my God.
Minimum.
Oh, minimum for sure.
Yeah.
How many years have you been driving, Brian?
I'm in my 7th.
Okay, so I think this is my 3rd or 4th year. I've never had a headlight out.
Oh, I have not all the time.
Really? Oh my God.
And my mechanic, I'll tell him and he'll just pull up to bay. We have 9 bus mechanics and one van mechanic, because we have 20 vans on the road as well.
Okay.
For special need transportation. And, you know, I don't forget those guys at Christmas time with a gift card to Starbucks, and the 2 ladies up front that run dispatch, who really are the glue when the shit hits the fan. Yeah. I'm always bringing them a little chunky bar from something to say, thanks. I know what you do. Never gets appreciated, but we all do really appreciate you keeping us together and keeping things going. And that goes a long way.
It does. You know,
it's just life lessons, though.
Yeah.
You know to do that stuff.
Right. So. I'm sure they appreciate it.
Yeah. Like leftover Halloween candy. Go in the office, dump, because... Yeah, and they're sifting through it like, Christmas. Yeah. They are the glue. Ours rock. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
So, Brian, I appreciate you coming on. I already, when Joe and I started recording, I was pulling tips out of her like crazy. I don't know if I mentioned it when I was recording because, like, I never go back and listen. I edit it, but once I edit it, it's out of my brain. Right. But I'd be like, Damn, Joe, that's a good idea. Damn, why didn't I think of that? So, like, even you coming on with the, with the exterior thing, I'm like, oh God, that'd be so damn funny. Like, I never think of that stuff. So, appreciate you coming on, being our first guinea pig interview person, and yeah, it's amazing. Thank you so much.
It's been a lot of fun.
Brian.
You guys are doing a great job. I really love your podcast, and I'll be a listener forever. And I will do everything I can for your continued success.
I appreciate that. Did you find us on Reddit? That was where you found us, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I did a search on my Apple podcast.
No, you just did a random search?
Bus, and I got a few odd, like, school bus, but yours came up with school bus banter, and I just listened to the intro because you hadn't even had a first episode yet.
Okay.
And I'm like, yeah, okay. These seem like normal people I can listen to.
Normal.
And I just got into it. After the first episode, I was like, this is a lot of fun.
Okay.
Because I'm talking to the radio going, yeah, that's exactly what happened,
Amazing.
You hear someone saying the same thing you experience every day.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Joe, or Jerry. I could go hours on talking, and Jerry always has to be like
stop talking.
Time out. Yeah, stop talking because I'm just so excited about the job. Yeah.
Oh, well,
it's easy to talk about.
I'm glad you found it on Apple Podcasts. For some reason, I thought you saw it on Reddit because I'll post on there a little bit. I try to be respectful of the.
I'm a big Redditor.
So I love Reddit.
Could have been Reddit.
Yeah, well, it's nice because there's nothing out there. I searched for a school bus podcast. There's some that are still they're still in the directories, but they stopped recording like 3 or 4 years ago. And I'm like, damn, Joe, I think we need to pounce on this. And I know it'll take a little bit of time and to grow, but yeah, if people keep sharing it and that kind of stuff, I think it'll be great.
Cool.
Sounds good. You want to wrap up there with our little saying, Josephina?
Oh. Yeah, Josephina. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate you coming on. Thanks for listening, everybody. As always, same bus.
Same kids.
Different stories.
And remember, just say 10-4.
I love that.